Let's start out with BTC and ETH right now. So it is tanking a bit as we hit the air. I mean, as much as BTC can tank, it's down 2.5% or so on the day, and it's very weird because I just saw that the stock market actually hit a new all-time high earlier today, the S&P 500. So that is bullish kind of for markets, but Bitcoin is under 61K right now, 60.7 it looks like. ETH, as usual, looking like hell. It's at 2370, still not looking good in its ratio against BTC. We've been saying it for a while now. I think it's at about 0.39 or something at the moment, which is pretty damn bad and what we've been seeing. But yeah, market, I mean, this is short-term stuff, but market down a little bit. I'm still incredibly bullish here on Q4. We are less than a month away from the presidential election, which seems, well, thank God, really, because I'm honestly just disillusioned with all of it at this point and could care less about these political ads and stuff like that. But what's your kind of vibe about where we are with BTC and ETH's relation to BTC right now and what we may see here in the fourth quarter, Ewok, because things might get a little spicy here soon.
Yeah, from what I'm seeing, though, things have really kind of tamed down. And I think it might have something to do with the election. I hope not. I mean, I hope we see a little bit of action, but I think people might be in a little bit of a holding pattern to say, all right, what's going to happen? Who's going to get in office? Is the SEC going to change, control or change leadership anyway? I think that's quite a possibility. It seems like it's kind of just died off. The volume doesn't seem too active anymore. It just, I don't know. We're still in this same channel, just kind of doing it looks like doing the worm up and down a little bit here, along this path. And, it just seems a little undecided right now. So I don't know. And ETH is even suffering worse. You did bring the ratio up, and yeah, we're at like 0.38, I should say. And it's just kind of falling as well. So again, the lack of strength, the lack of just lack of action, I think is what's causing this, and the sheer undecidedness of what's going to happen. Pull up the S&P here, and yeah, it is a brand new all-time high. Interesting. Yep. I didn't even notice that or look at that. So, and this is the weekly chart too, by the way. So, some of these candles are a little smaller. You go into the daily and take a look here and see what's going on. Yeah, it's made a nice little pump today. Let's look at these. Yeah, daily. So this is bouncing off the 200 EMA, which this, I guess this is the simple moving average, the SMA. So
yeah,
it's a good spot to kind of bounce off of, and if we can stay in between this range, we'll be good. Again, this Ethereum's just looking weak. I don't understand it, and I think I told you a little bit ago. I had a coworker ask if he's like, I bought a bunch of Ethereum and it's just gone down. Should I sell? And my first instinct to say was, I will absolutely not, unless you think it's going to go a lot lower. But even then, it's such a risky play, because any day now things could just light and go, and that's usually how they work. You're not expecting it. It kind of lulls people to sleep. These markets will do that, get you a little complacent, and then all of a sudden, boom, takes off, as if you're waiting for something to happen or waiting for it to go a little bit lower just to buy back in, and catches you off guard. So, just be careful. Don't get complacent. It's going to happen over time here. But again, I think it's just a cool off period for everything. We're seeing it in the pulse chain markets too. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about that here in a minute, but just kind of happening across the board. So yeah, I think it's just part of the cycle. I really do. I think it's happened before. It happens again. And just like I said, don't get complacent.
I think your work friend is the bottom signal for the ETH BTC ratio
Possibly.
right now. Yeah, I hope so. And it is an interesting thing because, I mean, we're looking, okay, so it's October 9th. We're looking a full 2 months, like 8 weeks since we did have that huge dip down over the weekend. I remember it so well because it was such a shitty day in the markets, but just like worldwide markets were horrible. We had that Japan emergency and stuff like that. I think it was August 4th is when everything just absolutely tanked.
Yeah.
That was when ETH hit these like new kind of recent local lows against Bitcoin on that day. So we're 2 months from that, and we're still hovering around that area, and it hasn't really gone below here. I think 0.038, 0.037 is right about what you can see. I mean, it kind of had some wicks and stuff like that, but it's really hung out around there. Yeah, the chart doesn't look good, but it's also just kind of like some charts in crypto, and maybe that will be one of them, just don't make a lot of sense. I mean, it's not going to look like some classical charts and stuff like that. And eventually we're just going to have to see ETH start to recover here. I mean, and who knows? I mean, we may be looking dead in the face of ETH not having the cycle that many people think. I mean, there's lots of people out there that are, Bob Lucas included, I just heard him say the other day, that are thinking with their rational mind that BTC is in for, over $200,000 or so this cycle, which maybe not be too much of a stretch, but for Ethereum, some people might put that like, oh, okay, that means $15,000, $20,000 ETH is inevitable. I don't know if that's going to be so. I mean, I think there's maybe something to it being its third cycle. Vitalik certainly hasn't been at his best lately or anything like that. So, and the rise of Solana last cycle, however shitty the blockchain may be, people are just kind of not thinking about Ethereum as much. So who knows? Maybe there's a scenario where it only tops out at 10K, 12K or something like that. But honestly, even if it does, and again, I wouldn't like that. I mean, 12, I think would be still plenty, honestly. We would be sitting pretty because of where we're leveraged at, obviously. And I think many altcoins would as well, even with ETH doing that. But maybe we need to look at, maybe we need to adjust our expectations to like ETH. If people are expecting 15 or 20K, it just may not be happening. I don't know.
Well, I don't know about that. If Bitcoin does go to 200,000, they do move together. Even at the ratio that they're at, they'll still move together because of the bonded liquidity. The Hart's Law thing that we've always kind of refer back to when things move together because they're so tightly bound with all the liquidity pairs, it's going to bring it up. Like there's no way Bitcoin can get to 200,000 and Ethereum not get to at least 15. So unless the liquidity between the two get completely pulled. So
right.
I just don't see that happening. I don't see that scenario. People may not understand how much is tied up in the Bitcoin Ethereum pair across all these exchanges and everything like that. So I don't see that at all. Like I don't see it only going to 10 or 12 if Bitcoin goes that high. I think that's a completely irrational statement.
Maybe. Well, are you telling me that I'm irrational? Because I was
no, Bob Lucas.
Well, it sounds like
is the one that said it, right?
No, he didn't say that about ETH. I was just wondering. No, I was just saying, like, maybe I guess not if BTC has to get to 200K, but like that's not guaranteed either. So I mean, maybe if it only gets to 125 or something like that. I guess I'm just saying that like independent of BTC, for people that are just thinking in ETH terms and thinking of 15K, 20K ETH, maybe not like assume it's going to happen so assuredly. I mean, I would love to be wrong, and it definitely feels like we're at a bottom for ETH right now, though. So
and isn't it funny though that even if people say about the 125,000 Bitcoin, it's only a 2x, man. That's it.
Right.
To me, that's crazy. Like to only hope for that, to only hope for a 2x from here. I don't know. I mean, I guess we're spoiled by the micro cap things that we know can go hundreds of X's, and people are looking and going to be happy with a 2x. But anyway.
Well, haven't you heard? I mean, there's all these like Altcoin Daily. I forget what other channels I've seen lately. We'll have like a guest on, and they say you only need 0.0021 Bitcoin or something like that. For what? To turn like 13 grand into 50 grand this cycle or something? I mean, I don't know what logic you really have there, but
what? And if it goes to 1 million, what is that? 210,000? Like
right?
Really?
Like who's really wrecking people? Like when you see shit like that, that's what really pisses me off on these channels that preach, portfolio diversity, and it's like owning point whatever BTC. I'm like, man, that's what's really hurting people. Like you're guaranteeing them, all these crazy gains that you may still get from this when we know, I mean, the diminishing returns are there,
Yeah. Yep.